Christian Arcan.
Things can't always work out the way we expect.
Christian and King. ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Streaming live on ESPNNewHampshire.com. Christian and King. Here's Christian Arcan and Tom King.
Hour number 2, Christian and King, ESPN New Hampshire, streaming live in the ESPN radio app and ESPNNewHampshire.com. I'm Christian Arcan, and that is Tom King. It's 1:02 here on a Monday, and we're talking about a lot of stuff here on Christian and King. Mostly Bruins so far.
We got an NFL draft coming up this week.
We have the NFL draft coming up this Thursday, which I can't believe. I can't believe it's time for the NFL draft again.
It's late.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks later.
I know it is, but
because
it's just...
Radio City Music Hall was all tied up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah.
That's
it
why
should
it's
have
late.
been. Yeah.
It should have been 2 weeks ago.
It should have.
Yeah.
And yet I'm still not ready for it. Crazy.
I'm never ready for it.
I know. It's one of those things. It's just hard to be
totally
prepared.
It's 3 days of your life you never get back.
You don't like the draft?
No, it's a pain.
Why?
Because all you do is sit and wait, sit and wait, sit and wait, sit and
right.
wait, sit and wait, sit and wait, sit and wait,
and drink beer and eat food.
No, you don't. You don't drink beer. No, you don't drink beer.
I do.
I know you do. I don't. I got to work it.
You're covering the draft?
I'll be down there Thursday, and I'll probably go down Saturday. I won't go Friday. I won't go the second day.
So you're really just covering the Patriots picks?
Well, that's what you do. You go to Gillette. Patriots media all goes to. You don't go to New York. You go to Gillette.
Right.
No.
And you sort of sit there and watch them make their picks in New York.
You watch what you guys are watching.
You sit and watch TV.
You know, always sit and watch TV.
So why do you have to go to Foxborough to do that?
Because they put the player that they pick on a conference call, and then Belichick talks after the pick.
Okay. On a conference call too, or he just makes like a statement?
Usually he'll come up and he'll come up and give a press conference.
Okay. After each one?
At the end of each day.
All right.
Usually. At the end of each day. But there's only one round on Thursday. But the problem is it's Thursday night.
Yeah.
So newspaper-wise, that means that most of the morning editions won't have the pick if it's as late as they say it is, which is going to be around 11:30. So you have to go online.
Okay.
So that, and then Friday are the second and third round picks, and then Saturday is the smorgasbord where they go 4 through 7, and that's when all the stupid trades made. You know, this give away this 4th and 5th for this 6th and 7th. You know, it drives you nuts.
Oh, you mean the best?
All those
time ever.
All those trades that Belichick loves to make with picks, and then at the end of the draft, he'll kind of evaluate the draft as a whole, depending on the questions he's asked, on late Saturday after the final round is done. So,
did you hear about Carey Price?
No.
Carey Price early this morning went on Twitter and tweeted, "If anyone finds 2 labs running around Candiac, they're mine." Candiac, which is a suburb of Montreal.
Yeah.
2 Labradors.
They got loose?
Local TSN radio reported that a caller who heard its report on the incident found the dogs and returned them to Price, and that the caller got an autographed stick in return.
There you go.
Price and the Canadians are in the middle of the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Yeah.
His Labrador retrievers are now back home, but that begs the question, Tom.
Who let the dogs
out?
out?
There you go.
Who let the dogs out?
I mean, you know, I don't know much about Candiac or Montreal or any of these
You know the
places
significance
here.
of that song locally?
Of this song?
Yes.
Besides, it's the worst song ever.
It was.
E-E-I-O.
It was the theme song in 2000
Uh-huh.
for the Nashville Pride
It was?
when they won the Atlantic
Who
League
let
Championship.
the dogs out?
Right before every game.
Seriously?
Every game.
Oh, God.
When they take the field, when they
In
run out of the
2000?
field.
In 2000?
In 2000.
When did the song come out?
2000.
Is that when it came out? I feel
Yes.
like it was even before that, like 98 maybe?
No,
It was
2000. 2000.
Oh, man.
They latched onto that. Fans loved it,
Yeah.
you know? The fans loved it.
People love horrible music, I'll tell you what.
Well, they love it when it pertains to their sports teams, you know?
And what does this have to do with the Nashville Pride?
Well, they used the song as their.
Well, because they used it, but it didn't pertain to the team in any way until they decided to use it.
Right, but then it stuck.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, what they did was, you know how the players run out to the field to start the game?
Right.
And that's when they would play that song.
Okay.
You know? Who let the dogs out as the players run out from the dugout onto
Ugh.
the field.
God. Didn't hear much more from the Baja men after that, did
No, you didn't.
No.
But I'll tell you what, you heard a lot of the Baja men at Holman Stadium for
Yeah.
a good 2 months.
And every other
A
arena
month
in
and
the
a half.
country.
Oh, my God.
You couldn't get away from Who Let the Dogs Out.
No, you couldn't.
Who Let the Dogs Out was basically the Macarena of its year.
It was.
You know, or
It
the
was.
Gangnam Style, or the
Yep,
whatever you
it
want to
was.
say.
So Carey Price has got his dogs back. So that's
Carey
good.
Price's dogs are back, and
Yeah.
he can figure out who let the dogs out on his own time, because that is not our job, Carey Price. You should keep track of your damn dogs there, fella. I'll tell you what. Carey Price is getting more love and more props for playing a great series for a guy who's allowed, 8 goals now? Well, 7, I guess. One was an empty netter. I mean, more people are talking about how great and amazing Carey Price is. Listen, I think in that first game, and in both games, actually, in the first 2 periods, Carey Price has been an all-world goaltender through periods 1 and 2 of both games. He has just been an absolute wall. You can't get anything past him.
Third period, he was not.
Third period, he turns into a pumpkin, man. I don't know what it is.
Well, it was a pumpkin. What he's got to do is he's got his Carey Price's defensemen have got to clear out space in front of him. And then they've got to get out of the way. So
Right.
you can see he's getting screened by half the time. It looks like he's getting screened by his own teammates.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, how many goals has he let in where he's basically shrugged his shoulders or shrugged his, gone like this, with his hands out?
I'm trying to remember in
you know?
the
He did that a lot in the first game.
Yeah, in the first game that happened a couple of times. In Saturday's game, the Payet goal, that was a tough goal. That was a score off a rebound. There wasn't much Price could do there. But the Hamilton goal was a good example of what you're talking about. Hamilton sort of squeaked on in, got a nice drop back from Marchand. Everybody was right in the way, and he just popped it right in. Everybody's shooting high on Price now,
They
too.
are shooting high.
You
He's
notice
giving
that?
them up. He is giving them up high.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. No, Carey Price has got to play better. I don't
Same
think
deal
there's
with
any doubt.
what's his name? With
See,
remember
this-
last year? What the hell was the guy? The goaltender, Toronto, I think. Who he just shot high glove, and that's all they did. Or
Right.
was that?
It wasn't Lundqvist.
It wasn't
Lundqvist
Lundqvist.
you could have shot anywhere.
Yeah, right. That's true.
He's not playing well. at all.
It wasn't.
Although he's getting a lot of credit for
Or
playing
no,
well.
maybe it was in the finals. Maybe I think it was. I think it was against Crawford in the
Crawford?
final. Everyone was
Yeah,
saying shoot
glove.
high
Yeah,
glove,
shoot
high
high
glove, and
glove.
that's the only way they ever scored goals.
Right.
That's right. It was in the finals.
was against
And I
Crawford.
remember because we asked Jack Edwards about it, and he snapped at me. He's like, "They're not one-dimensional. What do you
That's
mean they're
right,
one-dimensional?"
right, right.
And I said, "Well, they're only shooting in one place, Jack. What do you want me to say?"
Right.
You know, like that seems one-dimensional to me.
God forbid.
And he yelled, and he did not
God
like
forbid. You
that I
don't
said that.
criticize the Bruins.
Not in front of Jack Edwards.
in front
Who,
of
by
Jack
the way, I
Edwards.
saw Jack and Brick, too. They were up there. They were up on the ninth
That's
floor.
good.
Just hanging out, talking together. I was going to go introduce myself, and then I remember, maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't.
Don't know how many. I don't think they're doing any games, are they? Are they done?
Mm-mm. That's it.
They're done, right?
over, yeah.
They're done, right? Yeah, exactly. No more nesting for Bruins hockey.
Bummer.
Yep.
And I sincerely mean that. Whether Jack yelled at me that one day or not, I do miss his calls. And I love Brickley's commentary. I think Brickley's fantastic at his
Oh,
job,
he's
too.
great.
He really is.
No.
Him and Bob Beers, too, on the radio
no,
side.
they're great.
All of those guys are excellent. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see everybody. Anyways,
NBC is doing this deal now. If you've noticed, I'm pretty sure, except for when they have their top group of 3.
Mhm.
Eddie Olczyk, Doc Emmerich, and Pierre McGuire. If they split any of them up, one guy down on the ice
yeah.
and a play-by-play man upstairs, and that's it. They communicate without being next to each other. That's different.
I have a dream.
That's different. Well, that is different. You
that
know?
one day I could do the show and you're not
Exactly.
here. I could be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Actually, that did happen.
It
was
did
a
happen,
couple
didn't
weekends
it?
ago.
It did happen, and I.
And you know what? It
and I
kind of
could-
sucked.
And I could do whatever I wanted.
Yeah, me too.
Boots and pants, boots and pants, boots and pants, boots and pants.
Like all that was nice.
Yep.
But the delay that made it tough.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna have to work on
Yep.
that.
But
If we're
like
gonna ever achieve our dream of doing the
but
show without having to be around
Engblom is
each
on
other.
the ice,
Yeah.
and Kenny Albert's up in the
Yeah.
booth. Or
Pierre or whoever,
Pierre's the only color man with somebody else up in the booth.
Mm.
I mean, it's only the national games on regular NBC, not the cable version, that that they have the 3-man booth. So it's different, definitely different. It's got to be tough to pull off sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but I've noticed that. See how observant I am?
Yeah, very
Yes,
much so.
Exactly. So
That's what people say about you.
that's right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. 603-883-9900 is your phone number. 883-9900. Text in 50352. Red Sox played this weekend as well. Not as big of a deal, obviously, since we're talking about a team still just a month into the season. But they did take 2 out of 3, almost swept Oakland, but ended
Lost
up
a game that they could have won yesterday.
losing yesterday in 10 innings. Yeah, that was
fundamental mistakes.
that was a bad one.
That's a bad loss to take.
It was.
You know,
I mean, it was a close game. It's not like they embarrassed themselves here and they didn't,
guy thrown out at third.
Yeah, that was bad.
Jackie Bradley Jr. couldn't bunt.
Yeah, Jackie Bradley Jr. trying to bunt. That was awful.
That's just if anybody should be able to bunt, it should be him.
You'd think, right?
Don't they teach? They don't teach these guys that anymore.
No, they don't.
It's
You know
a
why?
lost art.
Because bunting is giving away outs. And in this new day and age, Tom, in this brave new world of baseball that we're in, it's only old guys like John Farrell and other old managers who still bunt anymore
got something
because you
against
give
old
away
guys?
outs. I have so much against old guys, I can't even begin.
What about bunting for a base hit?
Eh,
You got the speed to get out of the box. Bunt.
I guess.
Are you kidding me?
I'd rather have him swing
Drop
away.
them down.
I'd rather have him swing away.
Bunt.
Statistically, it makes no sense to bunt. If you look at the numbers and you look at the percentage of times it's successful and percentage of times when you're just moving a guy over into scoring position, and then if that guy actually scores, it's almost 100% of the time a better choice to have him swing away.
I don't like giving away outs either, but I think sometimes you have to do it.
The only time it ever makes sense to bunt is when it's the pitcher because their batting averages are so low
Right.
and they can't hit.
they
That's the
can't
only
hit.
time it ever makes sense.
Right.
Really, if you want to get hardcore into the stats about it, you're not going to find anybody, Bill James, any of those people that say the bunting is worth a damn anymore. That's just how it is. I don't.
It's a lost art, and it should be done.
It's
darn it.
definitely lost. I wouldn't call it an
It's
art.
a lost art. Oh,
Yeah.
bunting, that's an art. You kidding me? You
I
gotta
suppose,
to
yeah.
be good like that? Oh, yeah.
The art of giving away outs. The art of not necessarily helping your team.
Well, what's
I know
really,
what you mean.
Well, what's really bad is when you bunt and you don't get the job done. You
Right.
pop it up or something like that.
Well, that's very
Yeah,
bad,
That's
yes.
really bad.
I'll tell you who wasn't very bad yesterday was the Red Sox bullpen. Chris Capuano ended up blowing it in, I think,
Yeah, he had a bad
He was
outing.
in the 10th.
It's surprising.
Did you know up until then he had pitched 12 scoreless innings
Yes.
in a row?
Yeah, no. I mean, we talked about how good he was.
Yeah. And
But-
afterwards, people are talking about, Capuano is
But if you
far
want,
from perfect. Well,
if you want a relief performance
Mhm.
yesterday, that was stellar in Major League Baseball. That was absolutely almost infallible. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you.
Wait a minute. I know what you're going to do. Wait a minute. Hold on. Set it up a little bit more, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my favorite pitcher in the Major Leagues, Alfredo Aceves,
I am Sancho.
who is back in New York and back with a vengeance. 5 1/3
That's the way it is, no more.
5 1/3 scoreless innings to rescue that beleaguered Yankee bullpen.
To rescue C. Sabathia,
Oh,
who went 3 2/3.
Cease is one of his worst outings.
10
of his
hits,
career.
5 earned, walked 1, struck out 3, gave up a home run. 77 pitches to make it through 3 2/3 innings.
He can't throw the ball by anybody.
Let me tell you. Let me point this out to you, Tom. CC Sabathia went 3 2/3 innings through 77 pitches.
Right.
Fettuccine Alfredo Aceves,
5. He should start in place of CeCe.
5 1/3 innings
Yep.
through 72 pitches.
Yeah, I know.
Through 5 1/3 innings, as opposed to Sabathia, who threw 77 pitches through
And
3
evidently-
2/3.
and evidently-
That's bad.
And evidently, he had a bad leg too. He had a leg injury.
Who, Fredo?
Yeah, Fredo had a leg
That's
injury.
the way it is, no more.
That does not matter to Fredo.
But then when they wanted to take him out, he goes, "I'm smart."
What do I do? I am Sancho.
Telling you. And you know
Very
what?
glad that he's back in all
And you
of
know
our
what?
lives.
I
Yeah.
watched it very closely. You couldn't see him sweat.
Really?
I know. I did not see him.
Because of the
sweat.
hat? Is,
Maybe the hat was just absorbing it all. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe it is.
You know.
That's the way it is, no more.
No mas. Sorry, Alfredo.
But
We'll,
that
we'll leave you
was, I
alone.
mean, and his stuff. I watched a couple of his innings. He was dealing.
Was he really?
His stuff was moving all over the place. His stuff had more movement on than C. Sabathia's lollipops.
C. Sabathia wasn't doing anything.
He's awful.
And how about the Yankees not pushing 1 run across against Eric
Against
Bedard?
Eric Bedard.
Eric Bedard.
His first
shutting
win
you
in-
down at Yankee Stadium.
His first
really?
win in like 3 years. something
yeah,
like that.
something like that.
He's awful.
He sucks.
But
I mean,
Cease-
he is literally just there to throw innings.
You take
That's
the
it.
2 lines. If you
Yeah.
take the 2 lines, you figure that line's got to go with Bedard,
Mhm.
and the other one goes with, even though it's C. Sabathia, it goes with C. Sabathia.
Bedard was his first win as a starter since last June.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Sabathia is just.
Oh, and
bad.
Will Myers had a inside the park home run.
Yes, I know
Yeah.
it. Yep.
Very,
Sabathia,
very
'cause
exciting.
You know why? Because Beltran didn't back up your man Jacoby there.
Right.
But Sabathia, that's the
Well,
story.
he shouldn't have to. Jacoby Ellsbury should get to everything.
That's right. Sabathia is just awful. I mean, they've got to do something. They've got to. I mean, hasn't he? You know, they haven't worked with him to change his style by now,
Yeah.
knowing that he can't throw the ball, break a pane of glass anymore. Oh boy.
I know. Pretty soon they're going to sit CC down and they're going to say,
That's the way it is, no more.
Yeah, no kidding.
no mas, CC.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
And they're gonna have to start Alfredo Aceves in this place.
Oh, God, that's awesome. That's like the best news I could ever hear.
Wouldn't that be
When do the
something?
Red Sox play the Yankees again? Not for a while,
Not for
right?
a while, I don't think.
Damn
Not
it.
until June or July.
You know what? Fredo's probably going to be either sent down or like released outright.
Oh, I bet Fredo will be one of their top pitchers.
Yeah, unless he freaks out and like attacks somebody.
right.
In the,
He's
in
always
the locker room
he's
or
always
something
been
like
good
that.
in a Yankee uniform.
He is. He's just kind of a ticking time bomb, is all. You know. I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They
The
know-
Yankees
believe
don't
me,
play
they
the
know.
Red Sox again until the end of June.
Yeah.
Oh man, end of June, really?
Yeah.
I gotta wait that long to catch a glimpse of Fettuccine Alfredo. And they're playing in Boston. No, they're playing in New York.
The question is,
They don't play in Boston again this year.
yes, I'm sure they did. Play
Oh
two
no, wait,
more
yeah,
times.
they do. Yeah, they do. Sorry,
Two
I'm
more
just-
times.
I was looking at the wrong part of the schedule.
Yes.
I was only looking at the first half of the schedule.
Yeah.
They don't. Let's see. They play in Boston again.
Two more times.
in August. Oh God.
Yep, August, and then I believe they end the season against each other at Fenway.
August, September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and then yes, they end the season in Boston, September 26th, 27th, 28th.
Right.
And that is how that goes.
But the question is, the next time the Red Sox play the Yankees
Mm-hmm.
in late June, we'll see Sabathia's ERA be under 5. Because right now it's over 5.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say yes.
I think so.
I'm going to say yes. It will be under 5.
under 5.
And I
But
only
it
say
won't
that-
but it won't be under 4. That's for sure.
I doubt it. I
Right.
doubt it'll be under 4. I'd say it'd be in the high 4s.
I say it'll still be over 5.
4.77 or something like
I
that
don't
is
see
what I
this
see
guy
for him.
being able to get people out. I just don't think he gets it. I don't think he knows how to do it. He doesn't know how. He doesn't have enough movement on his pitches. He relies on a changeup, and if the changeup's not- if he the changeup's got to make his fastball look faster. And if he can't, if they're pounding the changeup, then he's screwed.
Yeah.
And I just think that they have done a horrible job trying to get this guy to pitch differently without the velocity. And right now he is turning into. And I looked yesterday, and Phil Hughes is out pitching C. Sabathia. You know, he's won like 2 or 3 starts in a row in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know, and this guy is this year's Phil Hughes with the Yankees. He is horrible on the mound.
That's harsh.
He is horrible.
He's this year's Phil Hughes.
Every time he takes the mound, he's a big inning waiting to happen.
So every time he takes them out, he's a bigot. I was like,
Yeah, no,
how is
he's
he a bigot?
No, he's a big inning waiting to happen.
Yeah.
The thing is, he can't get the big out to get out of trouble. He can't get the strikeout, and that's what he used to rely on.
Yeah.
And he had
a good start against the Red Sox.
He's had a year and a half to figure it out, and he can't do it. You know, but he hasn't been consistent.
Yeah.
You know, he's turning into Felix Dubron.
Yeah, he is.
That's what he is.
But you know what? The reason why I think he'll be under 5 right now, his ERA is 5.75.
Yeah.
You're saying by the time they play in August, is that when you said it's going to
No, June, late June.
be late June?
He's still going to be over 5.
You know what? Maybe, yeah. If we're talking June, I mean that's just a month away.
Oh God.
I don't know if he's going to be able to recover like that just 1 month.
I mean,
but I
Dubron's
feel like
the biggest thing.
by
I can
August,
compare
I
him
feel
to.
like he would be.
Dubron's. If he doesn't, then he's then he.
If he's not, then they have to really think about DLing him or something. I mean, they can't.
can't keep throwing him out there.
Yeah, they can't keep throwing him out there that high in the rotation against other teams' aces.
You cannot go out
Yeah.
on a Sunday afternoon against a team in your own division that's a contender at home and lay an egg like that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Then again, Sabathia every single year has a slow start, and every single year comes back and pitches just to either goes really really great for a long time, which is how he used to do. I mean, that was his thing.
Different now. He can't.
He's 33 years old.
He can't break a pane of glass.
I know, but that
whatever
can-
whatever elbow injury he sustained a year ago or 2 years ago has taken his velocity away.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been able. He's had all this time now. He's had 2.5. He's had a year and a half.
Right.
To figure it out. He hasn't been able to. Instead, he goes out and he loses a ton of weight, and that makes him weaker.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't done enough to work with him to get him to do that.
Yeah.
Figure, oh, he's a veteran. He'll figure it out. No, he can't. You know, I mean, the Red
Make
Sox.
him fatter
I mean,
now.
Lackey figured it out, but Lackey's Tommy John surgery seemed to be pretty good because he didn't lose any velocity, or at least as much velocity as he he hasn't lost that much velocity. Lackey hasn't, you know. But this is whatever they do.
Lackey's also 35, 36 now. Sabathia's only 33.
That's what I'm saying. Lackey's pitching better after surgery than this guy.
Yeah,
CC didn't have Tommy John, but still, whatever he had, you know, to clean out his elbow, didn't, you know, he doesn't pitch with pain, but he's certainly not pitching.
Yeah.
You can't go out there and do that. He can't leave pitches over the plate. He gets killed. Tampa Bay doesn't hit.
Yeah.
They don't hit. They're not a hitting team.
Well, they hit a little bit, but yeah.
Not that much. What was the one batter you worry about in their lineup?
Evan Longoria.
Right, exactly.
Maybe Ben Zobrist, too. He can be a dangerous
Yeah,
hitter.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, against the Red Sox, those were close games.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't hit in Fenway.
By the way, CC Sabathia and John Lackey have been in the league, I think, almost the same amount of time. No, sorry, that's not true.
Lackey has to have more years.
Sabathia came into the league in 2001 with the Cleveland Indians. Lackey came into the league in 2002 with the Angels.
Right.
Sabathia's been in the league one more year. John Lackey has pitched 2,111 innings.
Uh-huh.
Sabathia, take a guess. In one more season.
Lackey's got more seasons than Sabathia does.
No, Sabathia.
So he's got more measures. Sabathia's got more.
Sabathia joined the league in 2001
Yep.
with Cleveland. Lackey joined the league in 2002 with Anaheim. So, yeah.
Oh,
Sabathia
really?
has one more season.
One more season?
And I'll say this. In that season, Sabathia pitched
Oh,
180 innings.
I
his
bet
rookie year.
Sabathia's got 2,300 innings.
Try 28.
Wow.
28-16.
Yeah, see, it's taking its
28-16.
toll.
That is a lot of innings.
And it took its toll.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's crazy. Okay?
Now look at how many pitches it took him in 3 2/3 yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, this every single year they
You
just
know?
ride this guy until
Well, they
he,
can't ride him now. They know that.
Now they can't, but I'm saying his whole career,
Right.
this is what they've done. I mean, his arm had to die eventually, and maybe that's what happens. We'll see. We'll see if he can't come back. A lot of times, you look at his stats in April, his splits, they're not good. And then he comes back in May, and then by June, July, he's throwing like the normal CC Sabathia.
Yeah, but the velocity.
If he can't do that, I mean, there's 2,800 miles on his arm.
I don't know. And it was highway robbery. He opted out of his contract 2 years ago, and they
Right.
had to re-sign him.
Yeah.
And he had a big contract as it was.
Mm-hmm. Probably because he knew any day.
Oh, my God.
The arm's gone. You know, but after 20 and listen, just by comparison, John Lackey in one last year has thrown 700 less innings
Right.
than CC Sabathia. By the way, an average inning is about 200 innings, let's say. That's like a big year for somebody. They throw 200 innings.
Tanaka is their ace. And he hasn't pitched that well his last 2 outings.
Right.
But they've won.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanaka is their ace.
Yeah.
Now, let's flip it to the Red Sox. This is the equivalent of Buchholz's decline.
Right.
All right, in a way. But Buchholz is younger, and you know he's probably going to be able to get it back at some point or show flashes.
Well, you hope so.
Right. You know, this guy isn't going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Physically, everybody knows.
33,
He
you
can't-
know.
Well, no, he just can't throw that hard.
Mm.
It's the velocity. It's not the age I'm worried. He could be 38. If he could throw hard, that'd be fine.
Well, fine, but
But
what
they're
I
gonna-
mean is,
But they're going to turn him into Jamie Moyer at 33.
yeah,
It doesn't work.
that's the point I'm making here is that Clay Buchholz, his velocity's down, but you feel like he can maybe get it back.
yeah.
Once you get old enough, you're unless you're Bartolo Colon, your velocity's not coming back. He's
Well,
the only one I've ever
he
seen.
ought to
that.
go see
him and
Bart-
Roger Clemens.
He ought to go see Bartolo.
And what do those two guys have in common?
I don't know. Get the needle, guys. Let's go.
603-883.
B12 shots for
9900.
everybody.
Yes. Yes, indeed. That is what's coming out of those needles. 603-883-9900.
B12.
It's Christian and King. We'll switch back to the Bruins next. Don't go anywhere. Join us Saturday, May 10th at 8 a.m. for the Jonathan Gilmore Scholarship Fun Ride and Walk. The Ride and Walk starts at Hollis's historic Lawrence Barn and features many routes for cyclists and walkers of all skill levels. All proceeds will support Zoo New England's Jonathan Gilmore Memorial Scholarship Fund, and at the finish line we'll have a barbecue for cyclists, walkers, volunteers, family, and friends. Hope to see you there Saturday, May 10th at 8 a.m. The Jonathan Gilmore Scholarship Fun Ride and Walk. For more details, check out www.jonathangilmore, GILMOUR, fund.org.
ExpressMed offers urgent care for injuries or illnesses that need immediate attention. ExpressMed's board-certified physicians and clinicians are experienced in providing outstanding urgent medical care at a fraction of the cost of an ER visit. ExpressMed is conveniently located at the Executive Health and Sports Center with easy access to and from Manchester, Bedford, Londonderry, and Merrimack. No appointments are necessary to ExpressMed, but they recommend calling ahead. ExpressMed welcomes all major health insurance, but remember, urgent care is not a substitute for primary care and preventative services. ExpressMed, better care for less.
This is your NBC Sports Radio update.
It's semi-sweet tonight as second-round action continues in the NHL and second-round action begins in the NBA with top-seeded Indiana looking to pick up the pace against the Wiz after escaping against the Hawks. And then should be a shootout in OKC with a lot of running and gunning as the Thunder take on the LA Clippers. No playoffs for the Sixers, but point guard Michael Carter-Williams has won the NBA's Rookie of the Year award. College hoops, Oregon State has fired head coach Craig Robinson, the brother of First Lady Michelle Obama. On the ice tonight on NBCSN, Game 3 at the Garden and a back-to-back with the Rangers hosting the Pens. That series is tied 1-1. After that, the Ducks will try to even up their series with the Kings. And off the ice, the Carolina Panthers have fired head coach Kirk Muller. I'm Jeff Biggs, NBC Sports Radio.
It's been a long day. You've walked through 18 open houses, and you're pretty sure 10 of them have been ignored since the 80s. Your feet hurt, and your head is buzzing with words like wainscoting and butler's pantry. The idea of living in a van is starting to sound strangely appealing. But then you hear it. The sound of salvation, of hope, of Zillow. You glance at your phone to see a 3-bedroom Craftsman in the right school district, walking distance to coffee with a finished deck. It's pretty perfect, and it just showed up on your phone, like magic. When you sign up for mobile alerts from Zillow, we'll send you homes that fit your search criteria when they hit the market. You can view interior photos, historical pricing data, and learn more about the neighborhood right from your phone. Sign up today at Zillow.com or on our mobile and tablet apps. And to think, you wanted to live in a van. Zillow. Find your way home.
Is a sports injury keeping you out of your favorite class or your student athlete on the sideline? If so, come to New Hampshire Orthopedic Center, where we keep bodies in motion. Our sports medicine team's board-certified fellowship-trained physicians can tackle any injury keeping you away from the activities you love. Trust the team the Manchester Monarchs trust. Doctors Bouvier, Gumas, Killy, Marino, Sohikian, and Velas have the expertise and experience you can depend on. Our physicians know how motivated you are to get back in action. They chose sports medicine because they love getting athletes back into their favorite activities. With 6 area locations, you don't have to leave your community to get the best care. NHOC is conveniently located throughout southern New Hampshire, with offices in Nashua, Manchester, Londonderry, Amherst, and Salem. New Hampshire Orthopedic Center. We keep bodies in motion. To learn more, visit NHOC.com. Again, that's NHOC.com.
I'm raising 2 girls on my own. I'll worry about the economy more than a few times before they're grown. But it's for them. So I found a way.
Who matters most to you says the most about you. At MassMutual, we're owned by our policy owners, and they matter most to us. Learn more at massmutual.com/mutuality. Contact your local financial professional, Terry McMahon of MassMutual Northern New England at 603-623-7236.
This week, progress from the ordinary, the expected, and try something different in your cocktail. Introducing Shellback Caribbean Rum. New Shellback Silver and Shellback Spice Rum, imported from the Caribbean. Shellback's smooth and flavorful taste is a true progression from other rums. Shellback Rum is extraordinary in the way that it enhances your favorite rum cocktail or simple rum and cola. So this week, progress to Shellback Rum, rum found worthy. Copyright 2013, Grand Antilles Cane Spirits, Modesto, California. All rights reserved. Please drink responsibly.
When major sports news breaks or when covering play-by-play, ESPN New Hampshire is the #1 place to turn, according to the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters. This is ESPN New Hampshire. ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
The season is over for the Manchester Monarchs, who were eliminated from the playoffs after the Admirals' Game 4 win. Now the Los Angeles Kings will recall 6 Manchester Monarchs, that includes Lyndon Vay, to help in their NHL playoff series against the Ducks.
Sticking to the NHL, the Bruins finish off a tremendous comeback in Game 2 Saturday afternoon against the Montreal Canadiens. Sean Thornton spoke after the game, saying the team, despite the good win, has a lot more work to do.
Definitely not. These next games will be a lot tougher, I'm sure. I mean, we can't be taking any nights off, that's for sure, not this time of year. So they're going to be a lot better. So we're going to have to look at some things. We're going to have to do better in some areas too. We're a long ways from where we need to be.
Game 3 is tomorrow night in Montreal. The Red Sox will start a series with the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow at Fenway Park, while today they have the day off. When they are on, you can hear the call of the game right here, starting with Red Sox pregame, always at 6:25, unless otherwise said, on ESPN New Hampshire. Bishop Girton and Pinkerton Academy will do battle in high school lacrosse tonight as they meet for the first time since the 2013 championship game. BG is currently undefeated at 8-0. And the New Hampshire Fisher Cats are on a 4-game losing streak heading into a home series against Binghamton. I'm Tom Rowe. The SportsCenter update is brought to you by Infiniti of Nashua, the official luxury car of the Boston Red Sox. You can find them online at infinityofnashua.com.
This is the sports station with granite roots. This is ESPN New Hampshire. Christian and King.
Oh, 883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900, text in 50352. Eric in Manchester, we had on the phone, but we lost him. Eric, if you get this, call back, 603-883-9900. We'll put you right on.
Eric is a man about time. When Eric calls, we pick up.
I know. I got the message, it was too late, we went to commercial, and then I went and checked, and he was gone. That was it. Like a flash in the pan, like a fart in the wind.
No, he's got things to do. He's a man about town. He doesn't have time.
He doesn't have time to be chatting with a couple of knuckleheads like us.
Exactly, no doubt about it.
No way. Eric, if you get the message, feel like calling back. We got you, man. We'll put you right on. Promise.
Maybe.
Think he still has the, no, it's probably over now.
The Arbitron?
Yeah.
That's another reason why you don't let him go.
It was like 2
that.
weeks. Now, you only get it for like 2 weeks, and then they take it away.
Oh, about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it has.
Not a good move.
What?
He's a man about Eric. We have to bow to Eric.
It was a commercial break. What do you want from me? We can't take the call during a commercial.
We could have waited a minute.
Maybe. Anyway, Eric, call back. 603-883-9900. That's your phone number. 883.
Eric is royalty. I mean,
9900.
He's near royalty.
I know.
You know? You don't treat him like that.
Yeah. I apologize. I would never.
I don't know. He might hold it against us.
I hope he doesn't.
You know?
That would bum me out.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Nets.com and what's going on with Nets.com?
Oh, God. You mean you're referring to the Brooklyn Nets?
Right.
Okay.
Well.
What now?
Let me first point this out. Nets.com is not the official URL of the Brooklyn Nets.
I imagine it's BrooklynNets.com is.
Right. Nets.com. It's NBA.com/Nets, but if you go to Nets.com.
That's a fan site, right?
No, Nets.com was bought by somebody, and I'll tell you who exactly it was in a second. All right, it's cyber squatting, basically. It's what's going on here. If you go to Nets.com, it takes you to the website of whoever the Nets happen to be playing.
Oh.
The reason why.
The official website of whoever
Yeah,
the Nets
the
have to be
official
playing?
website, the NBA.com/Nets.
The
Now, if
reason
you
why?
go to.
Yeah, what's the reason?
The reason for this is because somebody, I'm not sure who it was, but a cyber squatter, some guy, mysterious person or persons came into possession of Nets.com before the NBA or the team had the chance to buy it. Since the Nets moved to Brooklyn and became relevant again, this cyber squatter has waged a war against Prokhorov, trying to get him to cough up 7-figure payment for the domain for Nets.com. And since he won't pay him, what this guy who owns Nets.com is doing is redirecting everybody who types in Nets.com
to the website of the
to
other
the
team.
Miami Heat or to the whoever they're playing, to the Toronto Raptors or whatever it is, because the official is NBA.com/Nets. But you would think Nets.com, a lot of people just type that in because that's what they do. They say, oh, well, I want to find out about the Nets. I'll go to Nets.com. And it takes you to the Miami Heat website. And every time, this has been redirected all throughout the season. Whenever they're playing somebody, they just redirect it to the other team. And now that they're in the playoffs, people get confused. The Nets initiated the discussions, a league source told Nets Daily in 2012, and would like to buy the address, but not at the price that it's being asked. Neither side appears to have budged. The Nets are doing fine without Nets.com, which even if they owned it, would still redirect to NBA.com/Nets. But one thinks that Cyber Squatter would have a little more leverage if they redirected to some really awful gore or porn site rather than another NBA team.
That's what would get them in trouble.
That brings up an interesting thing now. Who is this Cyber Squatter, and why does he think that that's the way to get him? If you own Nets.com, and now maybe since he's the owner,
going to another NBA team.
Yeah. Instead of sending it to something much more offensive that would get people to, you do it to the Miami Heat. People think it's some sort of promotion. Oh, this is the team we're going to beat next. Okay.
He probably doesn't want to get into trouble. He probably wants to hold on to the site for a while.
Well, yeah.
Well,
he owns it. He can put on whatever he wants.
Right, but he probably doesn't want to get in any trouble.
But he does want 7 figures from Prokhorov.
He's not going to get that.
No.
You kidding me?
I'd say just take what you can get.
I would, too.
You bought a website for what, $100?
I don't know. I have no idea how much it would cost for any of that stuff. How much do you think you bought it for?
I don't know. To buy a .com, I don't know. I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah.
I know if you go to like GoDaddy.com or whatever, it's like $20 a month or something like that.
For how long?
Beats me.
Yeah.
Who am I? IT?
I don't know. That's just it. That's that.
Anyway, I think that's funny. If you go to Nets.com right now, it does take you to the Miami Heat website.
That was a great play by Pierce yesterday.
I was kind of on the fence about that because I'm watching the play. All right, in case you missed it, Paul Pierce blocked Kyle Lowry to close out that game.
He might have been called for it, but
I didn't even think it was a foul. I just thought Lowry was completely out of control.
Well, what happened was
Lowry's getting double teamed by Williams.
What
and,
happened was
and
Lowry
Garnett gets through him.
Well, no, he didn't get through him. The ball got knocked to him.
Yeah.
He
had it.
He had the ball, lost it, and
Yeah.
then it got knocked back to him, and he was beyond the player, and he got knocked back to it. And look, he was the only guy who was going to take the shot.
Right.
Because he's their best player. At least, and he's the player.
He's a good player, too.
He's a good player that the New York Knicks and James Dolan did not want to pull the trigger on back in December when they had the chance in a trade. So
why not? They had Felton. What do they need? What do they need Lowry for?
Exactly. They had Felton from across the hall. Right. And Felton can barely get through the door to get into the hall.
Right.
So, but Lowry made the recovery and looked like he almost had a clear path, and then Pierce got in the way and was right there and knocked it away.
Yeah.
Which was, it was a great defensive play by Pierce. And the Nets are lucky. I mean, they should have lost that game.
Yeah, they should have lost it a few times over. Jason Kidd might be one of the worst coaches I've ever seen in any sport. Seriously, Jason Kidd is such a disaster out there. It's amazing they're able to win despite him.
He's not an X's and O's guy.
No, and I don't know what he is.
And he had Lawrence.
Those
Frank.
4 plays he drew up were just one
awful.
after another, and the inbounds. I was like, what are you doing? How are Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett sitting there and listening to this and saying, okay, let's do that? I mean, I don't know. Made you really appreciate Doc Rivers and other coaches when you see.
Let me
Jason
tell
Kidd
you
out there
something.
Drawing up this crap.
Let me tell you something. I think all of America right now appreciates Doc Rivers.
Yeah,
he has really.
there's Doc Rivers.
There he is being interviewed on ESPN now, but he has. Don't forget, see, Doc Rivers is in charge of the Clippers basketball operations.
Right.
And basically, what he's done is he's basically taken control of that franchise.
Yeah.
He runs it.
Mm-hmm. I
don't think interns are allowed to take a glass of water unless they ask Doc Rivers. Okay?
Yeah.
But the persona he's and he has shown, and the commissioner of the NBA went out of his way in that press conference last week to point out the job that Doc Rivers has done in terms of
Doc's smart, man,
trying to pacify everybody and settle everybody down.
He doesn't get overwhelmed by things. He doesn't blurt out the wrong thing. He's thoughtful. He stops. He considers all the thing, and then he says something very measured.
It's amazing.
He's very good at that.
He is very good at that, and it's amazing.
It really is.
And he is this is, you want the NBA right now, Doc Rivers is your best representative.
Yeah.
And boy, was he emotional after that win over the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Absolutely emotional. I mean, I've never seen him like that, even in his days as a Celtic.
Yeah. Well, you know, when did he ever have to deal with something like that?
That's true.
And then come away with a Game 7 win right then.
That's
I mean, that's
true. And come away with a big Game 7 win that was,
you know what that was almost like?
Close and You know, it was just that was really something else.
It was like everything Doc was feeling and wanted to say, and everything that was just that he
all
had
done-
to sort
it
of
was
bottle
all
up.
done out there on the court.
He had to bottle it all up and say, "All right, I'm just gonna, bite my tongue here and just sort of toe the company line, say all the right things." Even though I'm sure he was thinking all sorts of what the bleepity bleep, like all.
Oh
this.
yeah, oh sure.
And then at the end of that game, it just all came out. It was great. It was
Yep.
it was nice to see. It's nice to see Doc, Pierce, and Garnett all advancing and playing well or coaching well in these playoffs and giving you something to root for if you're a Celtics fan. Really, I mean that's what it is.
Well, it gives you
Everybody's
something to watch.
rooting for Brooklyn against Miami, and now I'm kind of a Clippers
If you
fan.
had told me
I
la-
hate Blake Griffin, but I'm a Clippers
If you
fan.
had told me last year at this time that Doc Rivers would be coaching the Clippers and Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce would be on the Brooklyn Nets, I would have
Yep.
said, what?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have believed it. I said, what?
I know.
You know?
It's weird.
It is.
But something to watch.
Yep.
And by the way, the reason why I say Jason Kidd is one of the worst coaches of all time,
Okay.
not the worst coach, is because Jason Kidd is not even the worst Hall of Fame point guard coach of all time.
Isaiah.
That would go to Zeke, my friend. That would go to Mr. Isaiah
Well,
Thomas. And there's no one close. Isaiah Thomas may be one of the worst coaches of all time.
But he was also one of the worst GMs of all time.
That too, yeah.
He was just a horrible bad. But you watch him on the NBA.
Magic Johnson was a pretty bad coach, though.
Yeah.
He didn't do it for very long.
Yeah, didn't do it very long, and he was smart enough to know to get out of it.
Right.
Yeah, but he also didn't have much on that team.
You know who everybody hated? One of the most hated coaches I remember was Bill Hanslick in Denver.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
they
that's right.
hated that guy. Oh, they hated him. He was only there, I think, like 2 years. But it was right before George Karl, and it was in the late 90s, early 2000s. And, oh, man, and even after he was gone, Hanslick left us. He screwed us up, blah, 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 blah. Just for years, they hated it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Bill Hanslick, like, what did he do?
How bad were his teams? I don't
They
remember.
were pretty bad.
Were they?
Yeah, they were like 14 and something. That was when the Nuggets were the dregs of the league.
Just waiting for Steve Kerr to be the new head coach of the
Any
Knicks.
day now. All right, 603-883-9900. Your phone number, 883-9900. Text in 50352. Christian and King will be back after this.
Joined now by Marcel LaPlante. He is our male student athlete of the month, and he is eligible to become our student athlete of the year when ourselves and Apple Therapy get together at the end of May for our big end of the year banquet. Marcel will be amongst some of the nominees, and he joins us now. Marcel, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're a senior at Nashua North High School. How'd you like going to school at North?
It's the best decision I've ever made. I love Nashua North. I mean, there's so many awesome ways to get involved, whether it's athletics or just extracurriculars, or the teachers are awesome, and I really have enjoyed the past 4 years. I mean, I don't know how it could get any better.
Was there a decision to be made going into high school?
When I was leaving the 8th grade, it was between Bishop Girton or Nashua North. I chose Nashua North.
Well, you've excelled at Nashua North, to say the least. We'll begin on the athletic side. A wrestler for 4 years. That's a very good program at North, obviously. What were some of the fond memories you had wrestling over there for the Titans?
I think definitely the best memory came this year. This is definitely the first year that I felt like there was a wrestling team, like a really good wrestling environment where everyone was, totally on the same page and working to get, accomplish the team's goals, which is to place high at states and win almost every dual meet we stepped on the mat for. And the whole team environment made this year just so much more fun because we had a lot of good wrestlers that could definitely place at states, and they did, and it definitely made the year a lot more enjoyable.
What did it mean to you to be named captain?
Oh, I mean, it was an honor, and I had a blast. Sometimes you had to be a little bit of a disciplinarian, but the team was really well behaved, and I couldn't have asked for a better group of Pierce to wrestle every Wednesday and Saturday with.
A well-behaved wrestling team. I didn't know there was such a thing, Marcel, but I'll take your word for it.
As well behaved as a team can come.
We're joined by Marcel LaPlante, our male student athlete of the month. In addition to being a 4-year wrestler, he also ran track and cross country.
And I'm not a runner for track. I actually am a pole vaulter. That's a fun crowd. I like them a lot.
How about in the classroom? Because just as impressive there as on the field and on the mat. 478 GPA, an honor roll student, a member of the National Honor Society, as well as Math, Spanish, Science, and Latin Honor Societies as well. Sounds to me like you take your schoolwork very seriously.
Totally. I mean, I'm a student athlete, and student comes first. Making sure everything gets done in the classroom is my main priority. And being in season, I feel like helps when you have a very rigorous schedule in terms of whether you're running or vaulting or wrestling. You need to get your schoolwork done right and first, and that definitely helps me a lot. I can tell the week or two in between seasons, I feel a little more disorganized.
With 6 New Hampshire locations, Apple Therapy's comprehensive orthopedic rehabilitation clinics offer convenient access to a wide variety of services. At each clinic, Apple Therapy strives to bring relief to patients by assuring the highest level of care in a comfortable environment, and they are networked to most providers and all insurance companies. Apple Therapy will maintain full and open communications between you and your physicians and therapists. For your peace of mind, you can find Apple Therapy in Amherst, Bedford, Manchester, Nashua, and online at appletherapy.com.
Our hosts can be a little nuts.
Oh, you're full of it.
So why not tell them? The ESPN Text Club is simple to join and 100% free. All you have to do is text ESPN-NH and join to 50352.
I'm a trifle deaf in this ear.
Text ESPN-NH and join to 50352. Members of the Text Club are also entered to win prizes like tickets to movie premieres and local sporting events. Text ESPN-NH join to 50352 today. When major sports news breaks or when covering play-by-play, ESPN New Hampshire is the #1 place to turn, according to the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters. This is ESPN New Hampshire. ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
It was a comeback to remember. The Bruins tied the game late with 5 minutes to go off of Patrice Bergeron goal. Then right after that, Riley Smith put the game-winning goal right into the net behind Carey Price, and the Bruins beat the Canadiens 5-3 in Game 2 of the second round. The series moves to Montreal for Games 3 and 4 starting Tuesday night. After a great regular season, the Manchester Monarchs were eliminated from the playoffs in 4 games by the Norfolk Admirals. 6 Monarchs, including Lyndon Vay, were called up to play for the Los Angeles Kings now in the NHL playoffs after the day after the loss. The Red Sox were bested yesterday by the Oakland Athletics at Fenway Park. A.J. Pierzynski was one of the team members that gave Oakland a lot of praise.
They got pretty good pitchers, and the guys started for them. Their bullpen's tough. They don't give up a lot of hits, and they don't give up a lot of runs. We had opportunities. Unfortunately, we didn't get the hit or the sac fly or whatever it is we needed. We had great at-bats, and we had guys out there. That's kind of all we're looking for. I mean, you keep putting them out there, eventually you're going to get the hit. The first 2 games we did, and today we just didn't.
The Sox are off today. They'll start with Cincinnati at Fenway Park tomorrow, starting at 7:10. You can hear the call of the game right here with Red Sox pregame at 6:25 on ESPN New Hampshire. In high school lacrosse, the undefeated BG Cardinals will host the Pickerton Astros in last year's 2013 championship game. And the NFL Draft is Thursday. The Patriots hold the 29th pick in the first round. I'm Tom Rowe. The SportsCenter update is brought to you by Bud Light, a proud sponsor of the Boston Red Sox. It's Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time.
Christian and King on ESPN New Hampshire, 603-883-9900.
All right, ESPN New Hampshire, Christian and King, 603-883-9900 is your phone number, 883-9900. Text in 50352.
We got Shred coming on next, right?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
We will have Shred jumping on with us at 2. Find out what happened with those Manchester Monarchs.
That's just it. Is this a hockey phenomenon?
I don't know what it is.
Is this a case of a team, I don't think they were overconfident. Did they get completely...
Can we help you, Tom Rowe, by the way? Yeah? Just hanging out?
He's hanging out with his thingamabob.
Just hanging over here?
He's got his thingamabob with him.
Yeah, okay.
And now he's taking his thingamabob back to his bob.
Right.
Yeah.
See what he does?
I try not to.
At least he's not standing behind me.
That's good.
That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason I went downstairs, because I didn't want to be like Tom Rowe and stand behind people while they were on their computers.
See,
that was 100% the reason I did that.
See, I would have had an ulterior motive. I would have stood behind and said, "You gonna finish that?"
Right. Yeah.
Right.
The only thing I ate was a pretzel and a big thing of jelly beans. That was it.
With that dessert tray there.
The dessert tray was okay, but I was.
And the popcorn? Did you see all the popcorn?
Yeah, I don't like popcorn.
Oh, you don't like popcorn? You don't like popcorn?
No, not popcorn. Everybody's reaching into. I don't know.
You take a cup.
I know you take a cup, Tom, but I mean everybody's going in there with their cup. I didn't want. I wasn't into it.
Oh,
I ate a pretzel. That was it. And I was perfectly fine with that.
All right. Okay. All right.
Appreciate you. Stop browbeating me about it. Anyway, the Manchester Monarchs. Let's see. Let's just talk about this right now, because we all know that they got screwed out of home ice, and I know some of our texters are tired of hearing about that, and that's fine.
I don't think that was the deciding part.
I'm not sure it did either because they lost in 4 games. Okay,
they lost in 4. They lost one of them at home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they'd gone 2-2-1, which they couldn't do, but if they had done that, they would have been able to play Game 5.
Right. The only thing you can say, though, is what if they had split in Norfolk and then had the next 3 games in Manchester? And that's really how it should have been. And you can say, well, it wouldn't have mattered because they split here and they did this anyway.
That have been their choice. You would have had a choice.
Right. Instead, they lost both games in Norfolk. But if they started off there, which they wanted to do, which they should have been able to do, then who knows? Maybe they would have come out. It just, I mean, you can talk about what could have happened, but what should have happened didn't happen.
Right.
And what should have happened is Manchester should have gotten their choice, and they didn't get it because of the tattoo festival or whatever the hell that thing was down in Virginia.
That's not what screwed them out of it.
What screwed them out of it?
What screwed them out of it was the AHL rule with distance.
Oh, with the 300 miles, yeah.
Right. So, in other words, if you have more than 300 miles, you don't go 2-2-1.
Right.
You have to go. You have to stay. When you get to that team city, you're staying there for as many games as you're playing, on that ice surface in that city for the series.
Mm-hmm.
You don't travel back and forth.
Right.
So they did not. So they would not be able to go 2-2-1. It had to be 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be the first 2 in Manchester, and they lose out.
Here's what Mark Morris said after the game. He said, looking at the big pictures after they lost 3-1. In the Eastern Conference Finals, the actual score of the game was 3-2 in Game 4 at the Norfolk Scope Arena. This was on Friday night, so they've been done since Friday. Mark Morris said, looking at the
Saturday night, did they? They lost Saturday night, I think.
No, Friday night.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Saturday.
Norfolk Admirals ended the Manchester Monarchs' playoff hopes with a 3-2 victory in Game 4 at the Norfolk Scope Arena on Friday night.
Friday night. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Better stop challenging me on everything.
No, really.
We found ways this is what Mark Morris said. We found ways to beat the odds and still have success adapting to the ever-changing scenarios we dealt with throughout the regular season. New faces and makeshift lineups are commonplace in the minors, so to finish first in the East and win the division is something the team can be awfully proud of. These guys deserve a ton of credit. The playoffs, however, ended far too soon. We lost some key guys due to injury and recalls who were important pieces of the puzzle for us, of course. The recalls, we all know about that, and injuries in the last weekend of the season. Brian O'Neill went down after that awful game with the who was that against? The Admirals, I think.
No, that was the fight.
Yeah,
fight. That was with Portland, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, it was with Portland. Yeah, Portland, Maine.
Yeah, you're right. Portland Pirates. Yeah,
game. It wasn't Norfolk. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, sorry, right. So we faced the top goalie in the AHL. John Gibson was stellar. He was lucky too. Tonight we rang the crossbar twice. The last game we had 2 goals disallowed. That's true in Game 3. He was good and lucky, a great combination. The Norfolk team played hard, and they capitalized when we had our breakaways. Our youthfulness and inexperience combined with our inability to execute and defend at crucial moments cost us an extended postseason. I'm hopeful the guys can use this experience to understand how important it is to make the most of opportunities when they present themselves later on in their careers. It was a good bunch to work with top to bottom. It'll be fun to see these guys as they mature and move on with their careers. Excuse making or...
Well, you know that Morris doesn't like the transient nature of minor league hockey.
Right.
He's already talked
Makes you
about
wonder
that.
why he'd stay there and
coach in minor league hockey.
Forever,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like that transient nature, especially when it pertains to the Calder Cup playoffs.
Right.
And, that's... it's not really anything you can really do about it. I lost their goal. I talked to Justin off the air about this, and Justin said, well, they haven't been the same since they lost Jones. Since Jones went to LA. I have to get Justin. By the way, Friday and Saturday.
This Friday and Saturday?
Friday and Saturday are the opening games.
Ooh.
For the Bastinelli, I call them the Bastinelli Bombardiers.
If we can, the Bombardier, I like that.
I won't be able to. I've got to work both days.
Really?
So, yeah, unfortunately.
That's the draft is that day, yeah.
The draft is Friday.
Well, no, because Friday is going to be
Friday
round
is
2.
day 2 of the draft, but I also have a
Saturday. I could go Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday's the third day of the draft, so I have to be.
Yeah, but who cares?
Yeah, well, that's the day that they wrap everything all up.
That's
into
true.
A nice,
That's when Belichick actually decides to start making picks. Yeah, it's like
Right.
the third day. So I guess I see what you mean.
Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever. It's plenty of time. We don't have to do it this one weekend.
No, but still,
Yeah.
He says that the scrimmage went well for them.
Well, for them,
On
maybe
Friday.
it did.
He said it went well on Friday.
For anybody else, maybe not.
He said they went 1, 2, 3 in the first inning. I go, what about the rest of them? He said, no, we were pretty good. He said we would have won the game if it was a regular game. I said,
All right.
okay, all right, Justin, I'll take your word for it.
A few more things on the
Justin
Monarchs
thinks
here.
that Jones
Tom, seriously, no one cares about Justin.
No,
and his
no,
freaking
he thinks
Little
that
League team.
Jones is the reason
Oh,
when they
okay.
lost
I
Jones.
thought you were gonna
See?
tell me more things about
No.
a team.
See, he thinks
Well, they
that
had a
when they
good
lost,
scrimmage on Tuesday.
when they lost Martin Jones. Well, this is the team. This is our team.
I know.
This is our adopted team.
I know, but they haven't played yet, so
I
we
know.
gotta, you know.
But when Martin Jones left to go up to L.A. and stayed there,
Yeah.
and he said that they really hadn't been the same team since.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily
I don't
true
thi- I-
because
I disagreed
Berube
with
came
him.
in and was very, very good.
I disagreed with him. I know.
You know, I mean, they even after
But even
Jones
Morris
was up and
But even Morris mentions the trade.
Yeah.
Morris uses the excuse of we had a lot of players out and a lot of players called up and
Yeah.
injured and everything else.
couple of things. Monarchs lost in the first round of the playoffs when they led the Eastern Conference for the second time in franchise history. Those 3 games in a row that they lost to Norfolk, the first 3-game losing streak of the season. Of the whole season.
That's bad.
Picked a fine time to have
That's
it, huh?
awful timing.
It really is.
I believe the last time that they were in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Boudreau, it cost Bruce Boudreau his job. Not that it's going to cost Morris his, but Boudreau had a record of playoff failures, and I believe
Yeah,
that cost him his
I don't
job.
think you can give Morris that with,
No,
with all
no,
the
no,
other
no,
things
no,
that happened
no.
this year.
No,
it's too hard.
I'm just mentioning that because now Bruce Boudreau is the head coach of the Anaheim
Indeed.
Ducks.
All right, Shred's going to join us next from the Circling the Wagon blog. We'll talk about what went wrong with the Monarchs and what's going right with the Bruins. Keep it right here. It's Christian and King.